XII 12 News at 6 starts right now.
First at 6, tracking Hurricane Dorian as it comes closer and closer to the East Coast and could grow to a Category 4.
President Donald Trump has canceled his trip to Poland because of this hurricane. He'll be sending Vice President Mike Pence in his place.
Our chief meteorologist Lainey Pope tracking the storm as it grows stronger and stronger in the Atlantic.
Lainey, can we expect anything from Dorian here in North Carolina?
I think right now we are sort of in a wait and see mode. We should definitely pay very close attention to this storm, but the latest forecast track, especially in days 4 and 5, have it slowing down and a little bit farther to the south. So we still have a lot of variables that will come into play here. This is post-tropical storm Erin, and then of course you see Hurricane Dorian, which hasn't strengthened since the earlier updates. So 85-mile-per-hour winds. Moving northwest, same direction at about the same speed. The forecast has been right on with this one. It is still forecast to strengthen, and it is moving over some warm water. It's kicking up the seas, the wave heights. The latest report close to 20 feet out there where the storm is. Water temperatures are in the mid to upper 80s. It is that warm environment that is going to help it to strengthen, potentially to a major hurricane as soon as tomorrow afternoon, and then staying a major hurricane, potentially even a Category 4 storm. It looks to stay north and east of the central and southern Bahamas, but the northwestern Bahamas are in the path of this storm right now, maybe as a Category 4 storm by Sunday, potentially making landfall as a Category 4 storm along the Florida Peninsula, and then maybe taking a turn to the north. For the North Carolina coast, you could see a little bit of rain and maybe some surf coming up by Sunday, but the greatest impacts will be in Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. We're going to talk more about what happens into next week with Dorian coming up.
Thank you so much, Lainey. Take a look at this. Hurricane Dorian hit the U.S. Virgin Islands with winds of more than 85 miles per hour. Intense rain caused flooding on the island of St. Thomas.
And in Florida, people are getting ready for something similar, perhaps even stronger. Forecasters still aren't sure where Dorian is going to land, so people all across that state are buying gas and filling up sandbags to get ready for the worst. You can stay up to date on every move Hurricane Dorian makes and all the storms in the tropic just by sticking with us on WXII. You can download our app in your app store and follow our page on Facebook to stay up to date even when we're not on the air.
Right now at 6, a man is in the hospital following a shooting that happened on North Liberty Street in Winston-Salem, where police say the victim has non-life-threatening injuries as they continue to try to figure out exactly what happened.
In Winston-Salem, we have learned the man stabbed in a Food Lion parking lot yesterday was one of 5 people convicted of killing NBA star Chris Paul's grandfather nearly 17 years ago. Darrell Brayboy died at the hospital. Detectives are still looking for the person who killed him. Brayboy was convicted of second-degree murder back in Nathaniel Jones's murder in 2005. He was beaten to death outside his home in 2002. Brayboy was released from prison in 2017. Jones, pictured here, was Chris Paul's grandfather. Paul was a basketball star at West Forsyth High School and Wake Forest University. He currently plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
A plot for a mass shooting at High Point University is stopped thanks to the brave and swift actions of students.
Paul Stieber, a former HPU freshman, was arrested for having 2 guns on campus, and he told police he had a plan to kill people.
New this evening, our Kirsten Gutierrez speaks with High Point University's president, who is praising his students, staff, and police for keeping everyone safe.
Following Paul Stieber's arrest Tuesday, the High Point University president says the atmosphere on campus is normal, and that's the way it should be.
We live in a crazy world. Sometimes I look around me and I'm amazed at how crazy things happen in this world. But at High Point University, we were able to spot the situation.
A very serious situation that many believe could have been the country's next big tragedy. But fortunately, students noticed freshman Paul Stieber had guns in his dorm room and reported him.
They followed the protocol to a T. They involved the High Point Police Department very quickly. We can talk about the bad side of this, but there's a good side to this. And the good side is they spotted the danger, they took care of it, and they did it with a sense of professionalism while at all times keeping peace and calmness on campus.
Investigators say Stieber had been planning an alleged attack since December. They say he was watching mass shootings to learn what to do and purchased 2 guns and ammunition over the weekend. High Point University's president, Nito Kubain, and students say there's just no telling what could have happened. They're just so grateful nothing did.
In my classes today, 1,530 students, give them acknowledgement without knowing who they are. They just applauded, stood up, and said thank you for the fact that when you see something, you say something. When you hear something, you say something. When we work as a community, when we work as partners, we're able to take care of things in an appropriate and safe manner.
Kubain says he's been in touch with the students who reported the situation, and while they wish to remain anonymous, he says he couldn't be more proud. In High Point, Kirsten Gutierrez, WXI 12 News.
Thanks, Kirsten. Meanwhile, Stieber is charged with 2 felony counts of weapons on campus or other educational property and 1 count of communicating a threat of mass violence on educational property. He is behind bars at the Guilford County Jail with no bond until a mental evaluation is complete. His next court date is scheduled for November 1st.
In Commitment 2020, presidential candidates are campaigning in the Carolinas for more than 6 months before the primaries, and our Steve King is in Greensboro, where Beto O'Rourke spent the afternoon, and our Bill O'Neill in Rock Hill, South Carolina, as Joe Biden campaigns in the state. We'll start in Greensboro. First up, Beto O'Rourke visiting the city for a second time in the past 6 months.
Today, he toured the International Civil Rights Center and Museum in Greensboro.
And our Steve King met up with a former Texas congressman to find out why he wanted to make another stop in the Triad.
2020 presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke spent more than an hour touring the International Civil Rights Center and Museum here in Greensboro today. Among the topics he tackled while talking to the media, the foiled possible mass shooting at High Point University.
The answer to this is ensuring that we have gun laws that prevent this kind of violence and terrorism from taking place. It means that we ensure that people feel safe and don't fear walking into a classroom.
But O'Rourke's main focus today was learning as much as he could about the Greensboro sit-ins during the civil rights movement.
We need the same kind of heroism and courage and leadership and the ability to gain the attention and change the conscience of the country in 2019, in many ways just as important as it was in 1960.
He says he wants to help everyone realize that what he calls President Trump's, quote, recklessness and racism is not just hurtful, but dangerous.
His open racism, the way that he has described Muslims as a threat to this country, Mexican immigrants as rapists and criminals and drug dealers, though they commit crimes at a far lower rate. The way that he asked 4 members of Congress, all women of color, to go back to their country, or sought to elevate Klansmen by calling them very fine people. It is not just that it offends our sensibilities and flies in the face of the words 243 years ago that we were all created equal. It is also changing us.
O'Rourke says his other main goal, if elected president, is making white supremacist terrorism a top priority for law enforcement. After this, O'Rourke's next stops are in Virginia and Pennsylvania. Reporting in Greensboro, Steve King, WXII 12 News.
Thanks so much, Steve. And Joe Biden also making some stops in North and South Carolina.
Our Bill O'Neill is in Rock Hill, South Carolina, where Biden hosted a town hall.
This small, intimate crowd lacked the energy of a much larger rally. But the racially diverse crowd of roughly 300 people got a chance to hear Joe Biden up close and personal.
One family got really close. Biden kissed a baby, then the baby's mama during the town hall meeting. The former vice president responded to half a dozen questions. The first one, health care.
We do have a disagreement on the health care piece, and I'll summarize it because there's a lot to talk about in health care.
Biden says if elected, his health care plan is to build on Obamacare and add a public option. He says it's cheaper than what some of his opponents are proposing.
And by the way, Medicare for all is in fact cost $30 trillion.
One question seemingly caught Biden off guard.
Can you tell us when we ever might balance our budget again?
The crowd laughed when Biden answered no balanced budget. He then quickly blamed the Republican tax cut for adding to the national debt.
So I tell you where it starts. It starts by taking back that tax cut for the very wealthy.
Biden's last question came from a youngster in the crowd.
How will you fix the damage Donald Trump has caused?
By making you vice president.
Maybe Medicare for all is a thing of the future. It sounds great to me. You know, I've been in healthcare for years. I'm an advocate of, having a nationalized health plan.
Obamacare was set up to be the beginning rather than something to discard, and nobody's been willing to work with it.
Biden supporters say they're not worried about the latest drop in the polls. They say when the votes count, their candidate will be the front runner. In Rock Hill, South Carolina, I'm Bill O'Neill, WXII 12 News.
Bill, thank you. President Donald Trump is also coming to North Carolina for a campaign stop in just a few weeks. His campaign announced the president will host a Keep America Great rally at Fayetteville Regional Airport on September 9th at 7 p.m.
For all of the latest information on the 2020 political races, find our app in the App Store and find us online on WXI12.com.
Winston-Salem police are spending their time canvassing door to door, trying to find out more about some recent homicides in the city. The police are looking for any information on the deaths of David Pineda on June 5th, a 5-year-old who was shot and killed inside of an apartment on Coleridge Circle on July 6th, and Eneas Bustos Rojas, whose body was found in the woods off Tilmlick Avenue. Internal assessments are happening tonight at the Mocksville Police Department. A Chapel Hill consulting firm is there to give recommendations for a better department. They're focusing on efficiency and the future. You can read new responses from both the sheriff and the mayor right now on WXI12.com. Look for this story on our homepage.
Good Thursday night, everybody. Kenny Beck in Greensboro at Revolution Mill for the kickoff of the Real Men Wear Pink and Making Strides Against Breast Cancer initiatives. We're going to tell you all about it when WXII 12 News at 6 returns.
It's one of the most interesting debacles a sports parent could have. We're going to break it down for this wild scenario happening tomorrow night.
I can't wait to hear about that one. Well, you know, out there on the campus of Elon University today, gorgeous, right? Blue skies, a little bit of a breeze, low humidity, temperatures below normal. Yeah, is it going to last into the holiday weekend? I'll let you know, and we'll talk about Dorian, where he's headed.
Ahead tonight, the urgent new warning about vaping, why health officials in one city are urging people to stop immediately, and a story of strength and resilience, how one young wrestler is inspiring America by never giving up, when we see you for Nightly News.